Hi folks, here's again Noobs at World of Tanks with Urdal. Today I will present you a relatively short review of the Matilda medium Tier 4 tank of the British line and some gameplay of this tank. I would call the Matilda a thick-skinned ankle biter. Thick-skinned because its armor is relatively thick for a Tier 4 tank, and it's all around of almost the same thickness, at least on the turret. And an ankle biter because it shoots very fast, but its alpha damage is relatively low, even for a Tier 4 tank. So let's have a look at the modules I use on my Matilda. I don't use the topmost gun because it's a howitzer. I use this 2-pounder X8 and it's very fast, although it only has an alpha damage of 55. It has a armor piercing capacity of 121, and I think that's quite good, and you can also do some damage on Tier 5 in this tank. Additionally, the gun aims as fast as it shoots, so you don't have to wait until it is full aimed. I use the best turret, although it just has the ability to look 10 meters farther. It's the same armor and the same turret traverse speed as the standard turret, but well, you have to develop it, to research it, to go to the Churchill one, so I use it. I also use the best radio and the better motor, although it's not much stronger, but the Matilda is so slow that even this small boost is useful. Back to the garage. The major drawback of the Matilda is its slowness. It is one of the slowest tanks in Tier 4, if not the slowest at all, but its armor and its fast shooting gun is more than adequate for Tier 4 games. I have Sixth Sense and Mentor on the commander, and on the gunner I use Armorer and Snapshot. On the driver I got Repair and Clutch Braking. Possibly the other way around would be better, but that's the way I did it. And on the loader I've got Camo and Repair again. Camo as a skill and camouflage net, that might be questionable. It's not always useful on a tank like the Matilda, because it most of the time has to go close to the enemy to do the most of its fast shooting and low alpha damage gun, but I think it's, well, it's useful. Then I have a gun rammer and an enhanced gun laying drive to maximize the speed of shooting and the speed of aiming of this tank. Instead of the camouflage net, you may install vents to boost your crew, but well, I didn't do it. Maybe I try it and take away the camouflage net. Okay, let's go to some gameplay. This is on Mountain Pass, and as you see, we have a good chance to win, and it's a Tier 5 game, so I have to be careful with this small Tier 4 tank. I decide to take the left trail, not only because I stand already here, and if I have to go to the right side it would take some time on this slow tank, but also because there are different ways to go on. You can go on the right to the bridge, or on the left to the far left corner. But I decide at first to go behind the rock in the middle of this field between the two ways. And well, I look at the right if there is anything, a fast scout tank or something else, and then I drive around this rock as I see this B1 heavy waiting on the edge of this mountain, and he's shooting at something, I don't know what, I don't see it on the map. Maybe he sees something, I'm not sure. As he backs up a bit, I go back too, so that I'm not in his way. And oh, there is an enemy. Finally I see him, but well, the B1 goes back and I don't want to be up front alone with my Tier 4 tank, so I go back too and hide behind this big rock and wait for the enemy tanks to come out in the open. Well, I shorten it here a bit because I'm just waiting, and then this tank destroyer is driving up and we can see two enemy tanks. This M4, it's behind the rock safe, but here it comes in the open and I miss, and I see these two heavies, KV1. I shoot at it once, twice, and the third time, but the third misses, and then I go back behind the rock and wait and hope that he sometimes in the future will no longer aim at me, and then I carefully start to advance again and look around the rock, and he's still aiming at me. I shoot at him but miss, and he shoots me and has a hit, and it's a heavy hit, so I abandon this KV1. Don't want to fight again against it, it's too dangerous, and instead I go for this M4 and hit him multiple times with my fast shooting gun again and again until he's safe behind the rock. But there's this T-28 and I'm looking that not much of my tank is visible between the rock and the dead tank beneath, so that it's more difficult for the enemy to hit me. And here's the T-28 again, and at last I can take it out of the game. Well, there's just the M4 any longer, and again I stand between the rock and the tank, the dead tank, and someone kills the M4 before I can do it. Okay, looks very well now. 13-4, 14-4, just one heavy tank left on the enemy side, and well, I decide to go forward, although I don't think I'm fast enough to get anywhere near this enemy tank before it will be killed by my teammates. I shorten the gameplay here a bit. We see this enemy heavy is still alive, and our team starts to cap, and I wait, and I think this enemy tank will be down in a minute or not, and I start to move again, although it's almost impossible for this enemy tank to survive. And so it happens. Last tank of the enemy team killed, and that's this game. And I had a good almost 2,000 experience points and 15,000 credits. Well, I think it was a good game for this Matilda. Sometimes I really get better games, but most of the time they are not as good. These 2,000 experience are a triple for the first victory of the day. And as we can see here, I'm third best player of the team. That always happens seldom. Well, we're at Noobs. And the other players, M4 and Churchill, did a very good job. And most of our tanks survived. And, well, I liked this game. And as you can see, out of 28 shots, 22 were hits, 17 pierced the armor, and that made 900 points of damage and additional 199 points of damage by spotting or detracking or something like that. Well, let's go to another gameplay. That one is on highway. And as in the gameplay before, I didn't have this sixth sense on my tank, so I'm not sure if I'm spotted or not. I jumped to the town since until now nothing happened, and I'm taking this main road on the left side, on far left side. I like this road because I can only be attacked from the front or the right side, not the left side. And then I see some enemy tanks on the right side, and I stop and back up and look if I can hit someone, but all of them are behind this little ridge there. Well, I just hope that they will come up out in the open, and because there are no tanks in front of me and all along this main road, I stay here and wait for them to show up. It's always a decision you have to take with the Matilda where to go, because you're so slow you can't change much after you've gone far away. This is an M3D I'm shooting at, and again you can see the fast shooting of the Matilda, and I change to this medium tank and put some shots into it, and then it disappears behind the ridge again. There's a small light tank shooting at me, but I don't think he can do any damage to me. Someone did damage to me, I don't remember who was it. And, well, I try to shoot at this light tank or the other light tank there, but they are safe behind buildings. I'm still waiting if they are coming out of their hiding, and go forwards and back a bit, and then I try to hunt them. Well, hunting with the Matilda is not really hunting, just trying to get a good shot at them. But they are either safe behind some buildings or they disappear before I can shoot at them. Again, I cut out a slow bit of replay and show you the moment this scout tank appears. It's very fast, and that's really a problem for me because I have to right click on it to auto aim and then shoot him until he's dead, and his auto aim not always works with this fast moving tank. There's Lee again and the other medium tank, and finally I can destroy it, I think, or don't I? Oh, someone else did it. Well, just one kill until now. And then there are more tanks on the main road, and I stop this medium, shoot at this Hetzer, I think it is, and I'm now reduced to a low amount of health, but the Matilda is a strong tank, thick skinned, and I don't know why I shot at the light tank before destroying the Hetzer. The Hetzer is the more dangerous tank for me because it can penetrate my armor, and here it cuts my tracks off and disappears behind this building. Well, I'm in hunter mode now and I want to destroy that tank too, and I'm waiting for it to appear again, and there it is, and I can kill it finally. Now there's 13 to 8 kills, and there are just 2 tanks out in this game of the enemy team, and I'm not sure if they are here anywhere in this town, and I call for help and someone immediately reacts, and now there is a very fine example of gameplay with one another without being in a platoon. These 2 light tanks there are scouting for me. I asked them to do so, and they did, because I'm low on health, and if someone shoots me suddenly I may be killed, and as the one of the last mediums, I think it is important that I survive to fight against this heavy that has not been seen until now. Maybe somewhere in this town, and these 2 scout players really look for me. They are my eyes in this town, and that's very fine. I seldom have this kind of good gameplay with other players who are not in my platoon, but here it was really fantastic. They did a good job, and they will do it until the end of this game, as you can see in a moment. Well, they are now almost at the end of the town, and nobody turned up here, no enemy turned up, and so we decide to go to the enemy cap circle and hope we either can cap or find these 2 enemy tanks and can destroy them in the end. Well, the scouts, the light tanks, are a lot faster than me. With my 21, 22, 23, 24, 21, I don't see it, kilometers per hour. That's British style of tanking. Slowly, slowly. Don't forget your tea break in the afternoon. And there is another tank, the second medium in our team, the second surviving medium. And now this Covenanter not only did scout for me, but it also tries to push me so I can go a bit faster, especially here up the hill. That's all, again, fine gameplay of him. and he had a little bit of damage as he touched me, but well, he did it nonetheless. There is the light tank, and I can destroy it. And now there is the heavy tank also in this cap circle, and we thought it was AFK, whatever AFK is meaning. This abbreviation, I don't know what what A stands for, or F and K. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me. Well, we are approaching, and this AMX-40 is up front, and of course he's not easy to hit with his very well rounded armor, and I try to hit this B1 but can't get a good shoot at it, and then I come closer and someone finally kills this B1, the last tank in the game, and so we've won finally. This was a very good game for me. As you can see, I got a steel wall medal, a Spartan medal, high caliber and cool headed, and also the mastery badge. I had one already, but this is the second or third, don't know. 2,108 points of experience, doubled for the first victory of the day, and 20,000, oh, more than 20,000 credits. Yes, I killed 5 tanks and damaged 3 more. I did 1,300, over 1,300 points of damage, and some spotting damage too, and well, one of my best games, of course. As you can see, I'm top player in this game, but couldn't have been it without the help of Siki07 in his AMX-40 and Setsuna 15 in his Covenanter. Thank you for your help. I really appreciate it. It's not very often that way, and sometimes it's, as you can see in the next replay in a minute. At last, let's have a look at my stats, my special stats. I shot 54 rounds, 39 were hits, and of that 31 penetrated for a damage of 1,373 points. I received more than 3,800 points of potential damage and survived this game, and that shows clearly how good the armor of this Matilda in a Tier 4 game is. Okay, let's go to the last replay for today. It is again on highway, but I'm this time platooned with my friends Nick and Jakub. Nick also in a Matilda, and Jakub in an M8 something American tank destroyer. Nick and I hope to persuade Jakub to buy a Matilda too, so that we can be a Matilda platoon and deal a lot of damage. Yes, okay. But you see this T-82 on the left side, and he rams me. I don't ram him, I think. There's no damage done. But then this player decides to shoot at me. It's not much damage he does, but well, my friends are annoyed and they ask me if they shall shoot this player, and I say no, that is not very useful. Each player who leaves this team, who is killed, is one player less to win this game, and we have only a chance of 33% of winning it. But some other players I'm not in contact with, they seem to want to avenge me, and they harass this T-82 player, and he shoots again. He's in a really angry mood, I think, and then these other players destroy him. Okay. It's always stupid to shoot at teammates, and I don't know what this T-82 player thought. Naja, well, that's the way this game is sometimes played. Okay, now Nick and Jakub are up front, and I switch to Nick's tank, and he sees the first target. 2 targets, a T-46 and an M5, I think, and he can deliver some shots into him, the M5. And again, and Jakub also shoots at it, and finally in a minute I will come up between these 2 platoon mates of me. Well, I'm slow, too slow here, and now finally I come here. And we try to take this Chihi player out of the game, because the 3 Chihi players are the best of the enemy team, better than ourselves in ranking of XVM. And now Nick decides to go to the right side. I was hit from nowhere and finally see this martyr and try to kill him, but I miss, and he's behind these buildings. Back to Nick. He found one of these medium tanks and through this advertising wall destroys it. I would never think that you can shoot through that wall, and funny, it doesn't destroy the wall, only when Nick rams it. Okay, that's gameplay. So there are a lot of tanks on the right side now, and Nick tries to engage them, and Jakub will follow him later on. And well, there is this PC-1C player that at the start of the game showed a sad face. Don't know what his problem was. His team is the clearly better team, and well, now we try to destroy him, and Nick hits him once or twice and I don't hit him. Well, now Jakub is destroyed by one of the tanks on the main road or some back roads, and that's the moment when Nick decides to hunt them down, while I do a very and absolutely futile hunt on this PC-1C. I don't know what had taken me in that moment, that I just concentrate and tunnel vision on this light tank. Totally stupid. Well, Nick follows these tanks back in the general direction of our base, and as you can see on minimap, there is another medium, I think it's a Chihei again, close to our base, and 2 of our tanks are watching and possibly are able to destroy it. And there is another medium, and well, I finally give up this futile hunt and see that our base is in danger to be kept, and I have to say, Nick and Jakub and I are talking with Skype, and we decide to go back to our base to protect it instead of hunting any tank that may be in the vicinity of this city. But we're not sure, or I am not sure, if we are fast enough can stop this capping. There are 2 tanks now in the cap circle, I think, and here another medium appears and tries to stop us. Hey, you don't stop him, Matilda. At least not with that tank. And we just try to take it out of the game. And it disappears and appears again, and then I have a really lucky shot at it on the move and kill it. And then we advance to the cap circle again. There's not much time, but we are close now. And well, the PC-1C is on the right side, and Nick attacks this PZ-3A player on the left, and then the PZ-1C on the right, but he misses. The cap circle is empty now. The 2 Chahis, I don't know, these 2 Japanese tanks have left it, and well, we try to hunt them down and destroy them. Someone is shooting at both of us, and I decide to go forward and find these tanks that are in the close, must be close here, close to our cap circle, I think. Nick stays in the back to defend the circle if they come around the other side of this hill, and well, nobody here. I don't want to go too far down, and I back up, and of course when I back up these tanks appear. There is this Marder down there, and it's much more dangerous than the PZ-1C, and I'm not sure of this, but I think each shot hit and this one kills the Marder. Oh, one shot may be a miss, don't know. Then this PZ-1C is there again, and this time I don't follow it. I know it's future, and Nick takes it out. And then you will see this PZ-1C player is really angry. Later on he calls his team a noob team, although they played really well, I think. And yeah, Nick takes out this PZ-3A, and there is a tank destroyer somewhere behind this small ridge. And there it is, and Nick tries to destroy it too, but it's safe behind the ridge. And then there is the medium VK, and this will be destroyed by Nick, and I shoot at this tank destroyer, but 2 shots miss and splash into the water, but the last shot kills it. And so there's just 1 tank left in the game, that's the Matilda. And this angry PZ-1C player tells us that the Matilda is AFK and that we shall kill it. A lot of angry players in this game, I think. Don't know what was the reason of this. Okay, so we try to reach the enemy cap circle before the time runs out. Just 4 minutes. That may seem long, but not with the Matilda and its slow movement. It's almost as if it moves in slow motion. And I follow Nick, and Jakub tells him to wait until I come up so that I can get the last kill, because Nick has 6 and I have 4, but I say no, it's more important to win this game, and Nick shall go on and find and possibly destroy this Matilda. And it's slow up the hill, slow, and there's not much time left, and we are really not sure if we reach this enemy circle. And if this Matilda is there, it could be anywhere on the map if it is not AFK, and we won't have enough time to cap, I think. There are 3 minutes now left until the end of the battle, and I feel a real suspense. Will we get in time to the cap circle? Will we find the Matilda there? Will we be able to kill it if it's not AFK? And the seconds run, and here's Nick up front, closing into the cap circle. 2 minutes now, 2:30. And finally, there's the Matilda. And Nick shoots at it, and shoots again, and surprise, surprise, it's shooting back, not AFK. What did it do all the time in this position? Just waiting for us to come? Stupid gameplay, I think. Well, we kill this Matilda and win this game at last. So, a quick look at the post-game stats. That's Nick's stats, and he got a high caliber, a steel wand, a top gun, and some more medals, and of course a mastery badge, and 2,064 experience without premium, 18,133 credits, and he damaged and destroyed more tanks than are able to be displayed on this screen. So it's really a very good game that Nick played. That's my statistic, 2,274 experience with premium, 19,242 credits, and level 1 mastery badge. And it was also a good game for me. And now the comparisons. Nick clearly had the top place, I was second, and Jakub, without a Matilda, was not as successful as us. Well, I hope he will be persuaded to take Matilda too. Then he's in the top range too. The T-82 player who attacked me in the beginning didn't score a lot, of course, so this angry move was not very useful to him. Okay, the Electro player on place 3 was a good player too, and as you can see, Nick did 1,222 damage and 97 spotting or tracking damage, and he received 875 points of potential damage. I did only 586 points of damage and 273 of help, and received 699 potential damage. So that's for today. I will show some more Matilda gameplay in the future. I like this tank very much. It's one of my favorite tanks, and so you will see possibly more platoon gameplay with Nick and Jakub on this channel. And if you like it, please like it. And if you want to write a comment, do it, and possibly tell me what AFK means, so that I'm a little bit more educated after that. And if you like my reviews and my gameplays, please subscribe to my channel. And until your next visit at Noobs at World of Tanks, I say goodbye and so long.